Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a long time now since the World Trade Center was hit by some airplanes. Very strange day in history. All of us should be thinking, why would they do such a thing? I remember President Bush saying, it's because those terrorists don't like our freedoms. Well, I really don't think that's what it was about. It's much more complex than that. And you can't help but keep feeling really sad by all the people that were lost that day and how sick a lot of the survivors are, and just the people living in the area around Ground Zero afterwards. I mean, those buildings contain a lot of asbestos. A lot of people haven't done their research about the Twin Towers, but Mr. Silverstein, who bought the whole complex right before the terrorist attacks, he was responsible for getting rid of all the asbestos in those buildings. Very expensive thing to do. And then they were hit by a terrorist attack. I don't need to go into details. You all can read between the lines. I don't make assumptions. We all know what words you can get out of assume. You know, it makes something bad out of you and me. All right? What we do know, though, is that President Bush Jr., what a horrible job being president. I don't think I would want it. Because if I was president, I wouldn't agree with the things that they told me to do. And I'd probably be fired because I'm not going to go with the program of constant war and stealing stuff from other countries. That's what war is. It's called the spoils of war. If you have control over the country, you can take anything you want. It's just how it is. So, how long has it been now that the U.S. and its allies have been at war against the Middle East? Before the terrorist attacks. And after. And why did we go to war in Iraq? It's quite a fast thing having the Patriot Act be written up right after 9/11. Oh, 1,000-something pages of it? That's a miracle. A bad miracle. A horrible thing. It's to protect us, right? Against terrorism. But if you look up what the U.S. government and its allies considers terrorism, it's anyone that doesn't want to go with the program. How happy are you with the program? You're not happy with the program. Now, most people would agree that the government's really corrupt and horrible, and it can't be trusted. Yet, they don't do anything about it or try to get together in large groups, and I mean hundreds of millions of people at least, to start turning things around. You know you got a strong movement started when you at least have over 100 million people. What has gone wrong with a lot of these movements is there's one person with maybe 1,000 behind them. That's not enough to do anything. Are you serious? I think most people want things to change. They need someone to lead them and say, hey, we're all in agreement here. We need to bring back constitutions of all the countries that have had charters and constitutions and cut off all noxious laws that were added to it. All stupid laws. Now, what is a stupid law? It's a complex law that needs legalese and attorneys to interpret it. I'll go into more details. What's a good law? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not steal. So, a stupid law is really complex, like you have to wear a useless face mask that cannot prevent the entering in of viruses. And you have to wear it and take an unproven vaccine. And it's for a cold that probably won't kill you unless you're extremely sick already. And that's stupid. So those things have to be cut off, things like that. And the war on drugs and the war on terrorism. So they just want to take the oil, the petroleum, and the food, natural resources, and opium from the Middle East and Asia and pretty much every other country that they can get their robbing little hands on. So maybe you guys don't like hearing this stuff. It's political. Never talk about politics or religion. I think the reason people fight so much with each other is they can't even talk about things. They get offended easily. They're sensitive and have thin skin. How are we going to fix any problems if we can't grow up a little bit? Right? I think we're as stronger as children a lot. You know how many bullies there are on the playground and kids can handle it? But as an adult, you're like, no, we can't talk about that. Ah, come on, let's grow up a little bit. You know, when your kids are stronger than you are, you know you aren't doing things right. So, what's the lamest excuse that people use? There's a lot of them. I already have everything I need. I'm happy. I have my hourly wage or my government cheese, so I'm happy. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. I'm not afraid of the police pulling over because I obey the law. Look at all the videos on YouTube and Rumble and TikTok about people that were pwned by the system when they were obeying the laws, right? Now, you can obey every single law that you know about, but there's thousands of them. So there has to be a change, and we need to get together, and we need to do exchanges of emails. And for those of us that happen to live close to each other, we can meet in person. It has to get going quickly. If you guys want to build a house, it'll take a couple years. This is really easy. Profoundly easy. When there's enough people in agreement, and they all get together and say, we're going to form our government now, the way it should be. We're all in agreement, and we're not going to pay your taxes. There's more of us than you. You can't put us in jail. We're going to refuse to work or do anything. America was started on a principle of freedom. I keep thinking about George W. Bush saying how he loves freedom so much. So why are you taking away our freedoms? Are you thinking? I'm sure that the president did not need to take an IQ test to get into office. If you want to be a public official, police, you can actually be denied the position because you scored too high on the IQ test. So, if you're smart and you want to be a police officer, you need to be a private detective. Which is where things are going, because people know that calling the police is useless. If you're poor, I mean profoundly poor, you're going to probably say, you know, without the police, there would be no help for people like us. But have you ever called the police when you're extremely poor? I mean super duper poor, where your cost of living is way higher than the money you make. You call the police and they check you for warrants. What, you had your house broken into? Someone crashed into your car when it was parked out front and you're reporting it. All kinds of reasons you could call the police. Yet they check you for warrants. But what, okay, you're clean. So why did you just waste my time? I'm the victim. It's incredible. So now in pretty much every country there's anti-terrorism laws where, like, they must have used their imagination quite a bit, because it's like if you videotape a police station, they think it's a terrorist attack. You can't prevent terrorism without taking away all people's rights. And things have to change right now. Okay, I'm sick of these people making these tiny little groups and they can't even get together and make one big group. One big pot that's in agreement. And there's all these details of how it will go, how it would change it, all the specifics that you can't really go into detail about. With Big Brother watching you, you should be able to do things out in the open and have Big Brother be comfortable with you. But they want to preserve themselves. And who really cares about the people? Because the government feels like you are disposable. They even have names for us, like useless eaters. What else do they call us? Like packages. All kinds of names they have for the people. And also the elites, when they fire you, massive layoffs, they just call you garbage, basically. So there's the respect for the people. It needs to be inverted the other way, where the people have the power, not the government. The government's supposed to be our tool. And they turned us into tools. That's lame. So, let's see if I get any views on this, because people have completely lost their huevos. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and people have no guts anymore. They'd rather be alive and a slave than die standing up. And I'm sick and tired of the stupid system. It's a terrible friend to have. So we all have to get together. Come on. So anyway, that's the short and sweet of it. As you can see, we have some light coming in now, kind of reminiscent of an office building, like the Twin Towers and all the office buildings around it. Over there is kind of like an office, so I wanted it to look as such. I like the floor-to-ceiling look. But it's nice to have some natural light in here instead of plywood covering up the windows. So that's the short end of it. What's been going on here? So I guess if people aren't willing to get together, just accept that you're gonna die a slave to the government who has complete control over you. And it's not a good one when it does that, when it gives you no rights. That's evil, isn't it? I'm sure they do some good things, but those are things that people can do anyway. This is my land, and I take care of the road out in front. You don't need governments to do that for you. Although I think we should have a government, because there's a lot of situations where people just can't help themselves very well. There's a lot of disabled people that I feel like would be forgotten if there wasn't some kind of government. And also, for defense, I guess, it's still going to be necessary. It just got way too complicated and insane. Things have to change. So, it's been said enough. Thank you guys so much for watching and liking my videos. Now it's about the time. This has been Montana Wildcat. Thank you so much again. Bye.